The Day of Defeat we didn't get, or the cut content of Day of Defeat. I know you are probably on this channel because you like Counter-Strike, but maybe you also like some of the other games Valve has created, and if you played Counter-Strike Source, chances are high you also know Day of Defeat Source. And if you have no idea what this game is about, well, we'll bring you up to date. In 1939, this fuckface thought it was a good idea to invade Poland, starting the Second World War. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you are either 10 years old and shouldn't be playing these games anyways, or you're just plain stupid and didn't go to school. Anyways, Day of Defeat takes place mostly during the year 1944, reenacting the battles between the Allied forces and the Axis in France, Belgium and Italy, at least when it comes to the official maps. For this video we'll be going step by step back in time and take a look at what is missing from the previous version. Yes, you heard right, the amount of content included in the game got smaller and smaller with every release. Day of Defeat Source is of course a remake of the original Day of Defeat, which ran on a Gold Source engine. And this first standalone of Day of Defeat is based on a Half-Life modification, very much like Counter-Strike was back in the days. Besides a selection of maps that have been remade for Day of Defeat Source, several player classes and weapons have been remade as well, though Day of Defeat Source does not have the same scale as the original. For the Americans and Germans we have the following classes: the Rifleman, the Assault class, the Support, Sniper, Machine Gunner and the Rocket Launcher class. Now let's compare that to the original Day of Defeat, in which not only more weapons but also more playable fractions were included. Unlike Day of Defeat Source, the first DoD featured German paratroopers as well as the armed forces of the United Kingdom in addition to the US Army and Wehrmacht. That results in a wider variety of classes and weapons. For comparison, every class and weapon included in Day of Defeat Source will now be marked. As you can see, it's quite a difference. Most notably, all the British weapons and the German paratrooper rifle with bipod and scope, aka Fallschirmjägergewehr 42. Moving on to the next chapter, the cut content of the first standalone Day of Defeat. Back in the days when Day of Defeat was still a mod for Half-Life 1 and not a standalone, the developers played with the idea of implementing the ability for players to heal themselves. This was scrapped alongside the idea of a field medic, although this can be found as a server-side mod today. Other scrapped ideas were binoculars and the Mortar class. The Mortar class was cut because the Mortar proved to be way too efficient, and therefore to be quite unfair. But onwards to the most important piece that was cut from Day of Defeat, the Para mode. Day of Defeat has two main game modes: capturing control points and blowing up stuff. The latter is done by placing explosive charges on objectives in Day of Defeat Source, and in the original Day of Defeat by blowing up shit with a Panzerschreck or bazooka. The cut Para mode was similar to the known game modes, with the main difference in the limited respawns. Every player has only one life, and the rounds last as long as one team is fully defeated or the objectives have been achieved. This resulted in a much more careful and tactical gameplay, bringing this game closer to Counter-Strike than to Battlefield, which Day of Defeat was often compared to. Another difference in the Para game mode are the cutscenes in the beginning of every map.
Wir müssen in einer Stunde das Panzer leer aufschließen. Wie sieht's mit dem Treibstoff aus? Sturmtruppen, geht in die Stadt vor und erbeutet die Kraftstoff-LKWs für unsere Panzer. Wir müssen zu Panzer leer aufschließen.
Though these cutscenes have no influence on the gameplay at all, they are a nice addition for setting the mood for every map. As an interesting side note, even though this game mode has not been included in the current Day of Defeat available on Steam, screenshots of it have been used to promote the game and are even still in the Steam store. This screenshot was taken from the German intro sequence of the Para map Glider. If you want to check out this old game mode, I'll put the link of this old Half-Life 1 mod in the description down below. There are no active servers anymore, but it is of course possible to play this game via local network. So that's it for today. I'm going to end this video by saying both games are incredibly fun, even though the graphics are pretty old, especially in the original Day of Defeat, even though it has a very high level of detail for a Gold Source game. Both of these games have still an active player base, so I can only recommend checking them out. Sadly, it is unlikely in the near future, but I would love to see a new Day of Defeat. What is your opinion on it? Tell us in the comment section down below. See you next time, and as always, goodbye and guten Tag.